action, focus, honor. It's martial arts. Today's video, Drunken Master 1 and 2.
But first, a message from our sponsor.
Before Justin disappeared, he sent me a postcard from PAX. When they searched his room, all they found was this picture and this deer head.
That's a mystery. The bigger mystery is figuring out which coffee to drink each morning. I used to use an ancient method where I wrote a bunch of names on a board and threw rocks at glass bottles, but now I just use Trade.
Trade? What's that?
With Trade, you can discover new coffees from the nation's top roasters. Trade matches you to your own personal selection of coffee and conveniently delivers it to you.
How does it work?
First, you take a quiz that tells Trade how you like your coffee, and they curate matches just for you. Choose your delivery frequency and it'll appear at your doorstep, fresh from the roaster. Then you rate your matches so Trade can continue to deliver your favorite coffee.
Well, that sounds great, but we should probably get back to the case.
Kieran, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. The first 100 people to click the link below will get 30% off their first bag.
Okay, so are we gonna look for Justin?
Who? Hey Kieran, what's on that PlayStation 1 memory card?
Why, Tony, that's Universal Champion Bill Goldberg.
Oh!
Well, anyway, it's martial arts. You get it? Like martial arts?
Yeah, that's good. It's a good pun.
You get it? Martial Oh, it's so bad. It's so but also because this genre, I just love martial arts films,
yeah.
And there's so much. We're not even going to make a dent, but I'm going to add a bonus movie in the beginning of each one of these. So every week I'm going to do my pick of the week. So today I'm going to say Fist of Legend with Jet Li.
Okay.
You guys seen that one?
I have not, but I like Jet Li.
Seen it.
Yeah, it's good. I think it's one of his best. So basically, it's kind of the typical format where it's a period piece. It's set during when Japan and China are having major problems. His master is killed and he has to avenge his death. And so it's a pretty cliche plot, but the choreography is amazing, and some of the moves he does are so brutal. It's like, man, that's gotta hurt.
That sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, check it out. It's kind of a remake of Fist of Fury in a way. Okay. AKA Chinese Connection. So we're going to talk about both Drunken Master movies, which are, well, in a big career of Jackie Chan movies, these tend to be two of his best.
Yeah.
But there's so many others.
I was shocked to find out that they were Jackie Chan movies. I thought they were movies about Kieran. Oh. So these movies try to tell you that if you drink a lot, you'll be a great fighter. And I want to point out that Kieran once got so drunk he lost a fight to a bed.
Doing one without the other, I just couldn't handle it. So here we go, twice the work. Let's do two Drunken Master movies. So first one, Drunken Master, 1978. It was one of the first kung fu comedies.
Yeah.
It wasn't the first, but one of the first. Mm-hmm. It was a follow-up to Snake and Eagle Shadow, which if you haven't seen that one's really good too.
I want to check it out now after seeing this.
Yeah, because it has the same cast, the same director. It's just in a similar vein. Also, The Young Master, which came out later, that's also really good, and it's in the same sort of vein. It's directed by Yen Wu Ping, who was the choreographer of just about everything. I mean, Fist of Legend, which I mentioned, The Matrix.
That's awesome.
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, Kill Bill. So he's done classic martial arts movies. He's done modern martial arts movies. He's had a long
He's
long
the
career.
go-to guy for martial arts.
The guy, yeah. Jackie Chan, this was his first major breakout performance in China. It would still be a while before Rumble in the Bronx, before he'd break out internationally. But at the time, in the 70s, he was being forced into being the next Bruce Lee because the mentality was always, if something's successful, copy it.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to do that. He knew he wasn't Bruce Lee. He had his own style, and he wanted to make more comedic martial arts movies. And when he finally got his way, that's when he started becoming successful.
Which I think is the smartest thing he could have done. Because I watched a lot of Bruce Lee movies. I was more of a Sonny Chiba guy. They're both really, really good, but they were both kind of I'm tough, good at martial arts, blah, blah, blah. Him doing the whole comedy angle really set him apart from all those other guys, and I could see why he became this huge international star afterwards.
Yeah.
It was a very smart decision.
Yeah, and also to help with communicating to international audiences, regardless of which language you speak, you could understand what he's communicating because he expresses so much in his face, and the reason why is because he was a big fan of silent movie acting, like Buster Keaton. Buster Keaton was like one of his big influences, and Buster Keaton did all kinds of stunts and everything. So
I actually just watched a compilation of his stunts, like it just unrelated by coincidence, like a week ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen him before, but like, holy shit! Like I get now that's making more sense now that you're like Jackie Chan is a fan of his. I'm like, yeah, I see it. I see the connection there.
Yeah, so like obviously he's huge on stunts, and just made a whole career in like risking his literally risking his life for entertainment.
Yeah.
He's been injured countless times, so it's definitely not without its price.
Yeah, I think he's broken like every bone possible.
I remember seeing like a documentary where he might have mentioned.
Yeah.
I think he cracked his skull once, I believe.
I know he broke
my
his
God,
foot, like
yeah.
he landed.
Yeah, he broke his foot in Rumble in the Bronx. He jumped off onto the hovercraft.
He's been
Right.
electrocuted,
And then-
he's been burned, he's had everything happen. He's, jumped through real glass, like everything. So in terms of stunts and props, because he's very big on incorporating props into the action scenes, this movie, it has its share of all that. You have some good prop action where he's twirling a bench and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this isn't that kind of movie. It's not as much in that realm, because early in his career, it was a lot more basic. Crazy back then, but still a little more basic by his later standards. But as his career went on, he would just push it farther and farther.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I wouldn't say it's like the #1 Jackie Chan movie you got to see, but it's up there.
It's probably like the most important. Like in a history lesson wise,
essential.
like you need to
Exactly.
watch this to see like where he came from. Like, I think it's very important. I'm glad I finally watched it.
The style between both movies is completely different. The
Yeah.
first one is more about the choreography and very rhythmic movements. It's very like huh, ha, huh, ha. And while, Legend of Drunken Master, the second one, is the stunt work, and it's just more, the fighting looks way more brutal and real compared to the original Drunken Master. It looks more of a dance.
Yeah.
This looks more like he's beating the shit out of people and getting the shit beaten out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a big time span between the two movies, so they are like two different
Yeah,
movies.
it's almost
but,
20 years, I think. It was like 78 and 94. So.
He does.
Yeah,
he
yeah.
does grow as a character between the two, though. Like, there's some carryover where you can see how he's like the same character, but more about. It's kind of like this is not the first time I'm going to compare it to Mad Max. Like Mad Max, there's like a loose continuity between all the sequels, but you see how he kind of grows in each one.
The character in the movies is Wong Fei-Hung, who's a real person who became like a folk hero, and they made all kinds of movies based on this character. But in this one, he's portrayed as, the first Drunken Master, he's portrayed as a very mischievous youth.
He's a real asshole.
He's a huge asshole.
He's a
in this
dick.
movie.
He's a real asshole.
So he's always getting into trouble. He's not respecting his elders, and he's doing all kinds of pranks, and he's beating people up, and it's just like he's doing all this awful stuff.
Yeah.
And then his father punishes him by sending him to this brutal martial arts trainer who's going to put him through these like really horrible training sessions. And
Who's an old? I guess he's also a drunken master. The old guy.
yeah,
He
who
is
is
the Drunken Master.
The
pretty
Drunken
much.
Master,
He
yeah.
is the original.
So he's always drunk. He's drinking out of a jug. He's kind of the inspiration for the Mortal Kombat
Bo
character.
Raichu?
Yeah.
Bo Raichu. Only Bo Raichu is like morbidly obese and farts a lot.
He's also from Outworld.
Yeah, he's also from Outworld. But no, yeah, Bo Raichu. After watching this, I'm like, oh, now I get that character a little bit more.
So the character in the movie, I think, is called Beggar So. I think sometimes his name varies.
He's
but
so high when I saw it. Like,
okay.
Yeah, that was his name.
Was he so high?
Yeah,
So
was
high.
so
He
high?
was
How do
so
you-
He was
high.
actually so
Yeah.
drunk. Yeah. But so that character also was a folk hero who appears in a lot of these movies. That's what I was talking about with Snake and Eagle Shadow. He's in that one, and you'll see him in a lot of other martial arts movies in the same
same outfit.
wig and the same
This happens a lot in martial arts films. If you guys have watched Kill Bill, you'll know that there's a character called Hattori Hanzo and Pai Mei, and those are characters who have shown up in other movies.
Yeah.
And I think Sonny Chiba plays Hattori Hanzo in Kill Bill.
Well, I think
Yeah.
And I have a movie with him where Hattori Hanzo's in the movie, but it's not Sonny Chiba. So it's like this. Like I went back, I'm like, oh, this wasn't just made for Kill Bill.
Well,
So
Hattori
this is another
Hanzo, I think,
example.
is also, he's a real guy.
Yeah, he's
He was a
another
ninja,
he's
from
another
Japan.
folk guy. Yeah.
Yeah, like Pai Mei, he appeared in a lot of old martial arts movies, like mainly the Shaw Brothers ones, like Clan of the White Lotus. What's funny is Pai Mei is played by Gordon Liu in Kill Bill Volume 2, but Gordon Liu was also the guy who fought Pai Mei in Clan of the White Lotus.
Yeah. So that's like a really common trend with these, to take like folk heroes and make multiple movies out of them. Sometimes they're the same actor, sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
But this is, as far as I can tell, this is the most popular Drunken Master movie that I've heard of, at least. I don't think I've heard of the other ones.
I mean, other than Drunken Master 2.
Well, I mean, like the series,
Exactly,
yeah.
Yeah, because there was like an unofficial Drunken Master 3. And
it's kind of like
that,
Django.
But,
there's like there's only one true Django sequel, but there's 100 Django movies.
Exactly, yeah. He goes through this brutal training session where he has to do things like hang upside down with holding 2 little teacups, which he scoops into a pail.
Yeah, upside down too.
Yeah.
And then he sits up and then has to fill a bucket.
Yeah.
Just 2 teacups at a time and do it over and over and over again. So he gets fed up, he escapes, and then he ends up getting his ass beat by this
Thunderlegs.
Thunderfeet.
or Thunderfoot.
Thunderfoot, in the translation I watched, it was Thunderlegs. I looked it all up, and
The
like
name
there's a
changes,
million different. Yeah, everybody has, like, he's Freddie Wong, not Wong Fei-Hung.
I guess we can mention it now. Like the when you click on the English dub for this movie, it's mostly Cantonese. Like the English pops up rarely.
Yeah, it switches on the fly in certain scenes. There's a scene where the bad guy family is trying to buy up the graveyard, and he comes in and he's like,
"There's a curse on the name of Lee, and it must be exorcised. I've got 3 mistresses without children. I'd be content with a chicken egg, but they can't produce that."
Oh, might you not be becoming a little senile?
Yeah.
若要人不知，除非己莫為。你咁講係咩意思啊？
I noticed a lot of times when they're
English,
cursing,
like, it's weird.
When they were cursing, it would like go to English. Like, the bad guy calls him a shithead or something.
Yeah, actually, too, in the fight scene with Thunderlegs, when he's fighting, he keeps saying, he's like, "Get out of here, or I'm gonna kick your arse," it says, and it actually says arse in the subtitles, which I thought was like kind of weird.
Yeah.
He burns Jackie Chan's pants.
Oh, his pants!
And then this becomes the story of how Jackie Chan must redeem himself, or Wong Fei-Hung must redeem himself and avenge his pants.
Yeah, his pants burning are like the equivalent of
It's
like
traumatic.
It's the equivalent of like a loved one or family member dying in a story, and he has
So it's like instead of avenge his parents, avenge his pants.
Yeah. He
Because-
makes him crawl underneath his legs first, and then he goes with his pants, drops him in the fire, and then they close up on the burnt pants.
Oh, wait, my favorite part about that, when he drops the pants on the fire, it completely distinguishes the fire.
Oh, yeah.
So they have to cut at a different angle and light them on fire.
Light it back on.
But yeah.
So after this, he comes crawling back to his trainer, like now begging him to take him back as a student because he wants to get skilled enough to beat his opponent. It definitely helps when the character gets his ass beat because, you know, with Bruce Lee, he's invincible. Like, he's just so overpowered. You always know he's going to win. With Jackie Chan movies, he lets himself get his ass beat all the time so that there's a point where you feel like there's a chance he's going to lose.
Well, I mean, I think he lost, like, you know, at least 60% of the fights in this movie.
I really appreciate that because these days there's a lot of, and a little bit in the 80s, but there's a lot of actors that have like huge egos. Like we were talking like the Rock and Jason Statham in that Fast and Furious movie they did. There's like clauses in their contract where they can't get hit too much by this person and they can't lose this many fights and they have to be portrayed like this. Like, that's in their contract.
Because the first Transporter was awesome. He gets the shit beat out.
Yeah, that's why it's more, like, you don't want to see him be too overpowered. Like, you want to see him get their ass kicked a little so it's more satisfying.
They did get way over the top, though. Compared to, like, Jackie Chan, everything seems pretty, like, you know, nothing's unrealistic, I guess, in most of the fights. Even though the drunken style and, like, doing bad, like, there's some times where they reverse the footage.
Yeah, the reverse footage is, like, real prominent in those.
It's not as stupidly over the top as a lot of those movies get. Jackie Chan is pretty grounded.
But I like that he's not afraid to show himself get vulnerable.
Yeah.
And I feel like some actors are like kind of going back to that now. Like, I know Tom Cruise was like a Superman in a lot of his movies, but like the last few Mission Impossibles, he gets his ass kicked a couple times.
It's important though, like, when you watch a movie and you see, like you were saying with Bruce Lee too, like in Enter the Dragon,
You
I
know
think
he's
the most
gonna
he
win.
gets is the 3 slashes on him.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
it. And then that fight scene is just him in the mirrors, and then he kicks the guy into a spear, and that's it. That fight scene is like 5 minutes long, as opposed to like Jackie Chan has the ending fight scenes of all his movies are 20 minutes to a half hour.
Yeah.
of
It's
just
all about
action.
that final fight. Like if you don't have time to watch the whole movie, like with a Jackie Chan movie, go to the last 20 minutes and like,
Yeah.
wow.
And there's so
it's
many
just cool.
elements and there's different
Yeah.
environments. Like there's just so much going on. Even in this one, when he
Yeah.
does finally, he learns the drunken style of the 8
Yeah.
drunken gods.
That's my
and,
favorite. There's 8
Yeah, so go ahead.
drunken gods, and like I'm like, wow, they have not one but 8 gods dedicated to being alcoholics with
wasted.
very specific aspects.
That's kind of cool. I don't know.
I like it. I just it's a weird thing that came out.
Yeah.
So, like, there's like the tiger style, there's the snake style, and
Yeah.
there's the monkey style.
There's the one where it's like
and
the guy
then-
holding the pot, and it's like
Well, that's
like
the drunk
this.
style. Yeah, that's
There's
one
the-
of the 8
so
drunk
There's
styles.
the Kiefer
Yeah.
Sutherland style,
So-
where you smash Christmas trees.
And then there's the lady playing a flute style,
the flute where it's like
which he doesn't like.
The one leg guy with one leg,
Yeah.
who has the strong right leg, and he does like crazy kicks on the floor.
I like that he doesn't want to do the drunken lady one. He thinks it's beneath
showing
him,
off
and then
her
at the
body, and
end,
it's like, huh.
at
and
the end,
he's
like
just
he
doing
needs
that.
it, and he like goes to the master. He's like, I didn't practice that.
Like he's
but
stubborn and he doesn't-
instantly
Yeah.
just gets it though. I guess being
Yeah.
drunk, it's like one of those like
So about the drunken style, it comes in very late in the movie, but the whole title of the movie, the drunken style, like traditionally, like you're not actually drunk. What you're doing is just a style where where you go really loose, and it's meant to confuse the opponent, to kind of throw them off, to make you think like, oh, maybe you're not with it. And it's also like a paradox where when you watch it, it kind of looks like, oh, he's clumsy, like he's going to fall over, but it really has this very graceful ballet style to it. And it's so awesome to watch.
It has a really cool. I love when he does the backwards punching where he just like bends back, and like the footwork is insane too. Just the kicks come out of nowhere, and he's just hitting everybody around him. It's so awesome.
And I think the first one, it ends like after all this amazing fight. I think it ends with just like an elbow drop.
Yeah,
I know.
Just a regular
Yeah.
elbow drop.
It was like a Macho Man Randy Savage.
And then it's awkward because then the movie just ends. Right there.
Those like 70s and like early 80s martial arts movies, they always just end like really
which I-
And it's like, so did
sometimes it actually ends, like some of those movies end on like the final kick or something.
Yeah.
Like it's just kind of like and then the
then
end.
ends.
yeah, but it's like okay, but the evil family's still alive. Did
Also,
anyone
yeah,
take
yeah,
care
yeah.
of
That's
them?
something
Like,
No, don't worry about it.
oh, okay. I thought that was kind of important.
Also, is he dead, or did Jackie Chan kill him with that elbow drop, or is he just like, I've lost and I'm good and I'm not going to try to kill your family anymore?
That's like if
kill
it's
your
like
dad.
if in Return of the Jedi when they throw the Emperor down the shaft, the movie just ends. But
Oh,
the
yeah,
Endor
nothing
battle
else
still
happens.
going
You should do endings of movies where it just Anyway, back to the drunken style. So that's the first type of drunken where it's like it's you're pretending to be drunk. And then the other style, you're actually drunk, and that's what the movie sort of turns into because the master is actually drunk the whole time, and he has to keep drinking or else he can't win. And then Jackie Chan starts drinking, and basically. It's like Popeye.
Yeah.
And,
It's so much like
so,
Popeye.
Popeye gets his ass beat, and then he eats his spinach, and he gets all strong.
Yeah.
Same thing in this movie, where he gets his ass beat, and then he's got to drink alcohol, and then he wins.
Which
so,
you need to edit that where it's like him drinking alcohol. It's like
I'm gonna say, thank God I didn't see this movie as a young kid because I watched Popeye and I would eat spinach all the time.
Oh really? I hated spinach.
But I wanted to be like Popeye.
yeah.
I would've-
So if
well,
I
now-
saw this movie, I would have been like
You would've been a
sneaking in my
drunk-
parents' liquor cabinet.
well, now you know winners drink alcohol.
yeah. Okay, so
It's
this
a
movie-
terrible message. This
The
movie has.
second movie does address how that message is a little bit not
Yeah.
like.
See, when I was watching this, I was like, wow, I wish wish I was like that when I got drunk instead of just being like, and being all awful and dropping glasses.
Kieran once got mad at me at a Halloween party. And he kept yelling at me, and then he was so drunk he forgot why he was mad at me.
Okay.
So he just started yelling, and he couldn't remember why he was mad at me.
I usually people
He's
are like,
not winning any fights.
Did you have a fun time last night? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I did.
Another thing I love about these 70s martial arts movies is that they always have those sound effects, like, and you feel like they must have taken those and put them in Street Fighter 2, like it's the same thing.
That's what,
and
when you hit that fierce punch, it's like brrr, like that weird crackling like noise. Which I've
like
never
this overdriven
heard.
just
like what's weird is like, I watch like a lot of UFC and stuff like that, but like when you don't hear a hit most of the time, like you barely
fights.
like hear it, but it's like you don't hear like whatever, like when they get kicked or something.
There's all that.
Yeah.
Like,
look, I've seen real fights. I've been in real fights. They're not graceful. Only you can hear really the sound of getting punched in the head over and over and over.
Getting punched sucks, man. Let me tell you.
It really does suck.
So there's the echo kick, which I think is at 1 hour 49 minutes 40 seconds. I think because I looked at the time. So there's this kick where it goes. And that's like the final hit in Street Fighter 2.
Yeah.
And they do that all the time in these movies.
Yeah.
Also the dubbing. There's this one voice that tended to do Jackie Chan all the time. And you can recognize that same voice. And that just adds to the humor too.
Yeah.
But then after a certain point in history, Jackie Chan started dubbing his own movies, and it's a lot more authentic. Where
there are a lot of actors, like once they learn another language, they'll just dub themselves for each release. Yeah.
Which brings us to Drunken Master 2.
Yeah.
Now, let me explain. This movie, it was called Drunken Master 2, released in '94. This is the original version. But then in 2000, they released it internationally as Legend to the Drunken Master. Now, this one was dubbed opposed to the other one, which was subtitled. There's also a few differences, mainly the ending, where...
Yeah, I have a question about the ending.
Yeah.
Okay, not to skip ahead, but I noticed the ending of the second movie, the final fight happens, and then it's his family at a celebration. They go, Jackie Chan can't be here. He's very tired from his fight.
Yeah, the after effects.
Yeah, he's very tired, and he's not there, and then that's how the movie ends. What happened in the real ending, James?
Yeah, so there was a scene that showed what happened to him, and basically after drinking this industrial strength alcohol in the final fight scene, it permanently brain damages him, and it's a really depressing scene. It's meant to be humorous, which is weird. It's kind of like this dark comedy. He's like so severely brain damaged in that final scene, and it just ends on that. Like that's the final joke. It's like
so like he got like alcohol poisoning.
So obviously they decide, okay, that's a little bit too dark. Let's kind of end on a better note. So,
but now it's just weird because he's not like, I thought it was gonna cut to him hungover or like still drinking and partying and stuff. But it's just weird. They're like, he can't be here. Bye.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the last Hunger Games, Philip Seymour Hoffman died. So like the movie, like what's his face comes in, he's like, I got a letter from Philip Seymour Hoffman's character. He says this, and it's like clearly lines he would have said if he had still been alive, but it's like real jarring. That's what this felt like. They're like, Jackie Chan is away right now.
The only thing I thought was weird about the ending of this too is after the whole ending fight scene and everything, that one guy who's like the main boss, the white guy from England.
Yeah.
They just never show him again.
Oh yeah, he just gets, it's kind of like the first one where like the main bad guys just disappear.
Yeah, like
they're like, oh, we took care of the other guys.
The guy who was like, because that's the whole thing is like they're stealing antiques and sending them to
the British are like stealing
artifacts and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's the main guy who hires all the people who fight Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
But that guy you never see him get justice on him or anything. He's just never mentioned again.
See, now I feel like I gotta look into this, but there was he might have been the original guy who got injured. Because so also just to back up, the end of this movie, the last like 20 minutes or so, there's this big fight scene in a factory, and it might be the best martial arts fight I've ever seen.
It's insanely good. Yeah.
And in this scene, he takes out a whole bunch of guys first, but then he fights the final boss, if you will. And originally there was going to be another guy there, but he got injured or something happened to him. So then they brought in Jackie Chan's personal bodyguard, Ken Lo. Okay. And he's like part of Jackie Chan's stunt team, his whole entourage and everything.
Yeah.
So he was like the best guy to bring in, and he's so good. he does these kicks that are just insane.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a paradox when you watch him because he's dressed in this like nice business suit. It's very like formal, but he's doing these like kicks.
That vertical split that he does hurt to watch.
Which I
it
was like,
really hurt
his
to
legs
watch.
are just like
I felt like pain in my groin. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I wonder too, like if is he just doing that, like no support, just standing like that?
Yeah,
It's
he
insane.
probably is. There's people who could do it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, what's it called? What's
Shenyang
that?
dancers?
Shenyang, which I want to see so bad. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's just like I guess really this is the big thing about the second movie. It's just this final fight scene is so good.
There is a good fight scene in the middle with an axe gang, which will show up in
that's
another
a
movie
really
review
good,
this month.
There's a lot. Also, the first time he gets drunk when he's in town, like there's at least like 3
And
Like
really
those
good
are all
fights.
good. That's why the ending one is even more amazing because it follows up these incredible fight scenes, and it's so much better.
They're each like the first fight scene is like 10 minutes long, and then the next one is like 15, and then this is like 25 to a half hour. It feels like it's like just nonstop.
Yeah, I think it's like, I mean, you have to check. I think it's like 20 minutes when he first gets in the factory, but then by the time he's fighting the last guy, it's probably 10 minutes.
Oh, and also the number 2 bad guy, not the bodyguard, but the number 2 bad guy is Ho Sung Pak, who played the original. Who played Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat 1. He was the digitized actor.
in the game.
And Shang Tsung,
in the game.
Only
In the
first
game,
one. And in Mortal Kombat 2. He was also in, I don't know if he was in Mortal Kombat 3? If it was him
because they
also?
photographed real actors when they did all that.
and they
I
were
know
all
they changed a few actors in Mortal Kombat 3. Like some people didn't come back, but he was definitely Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. And when I saw him, I was just like, wait a minute. Like I was like, that's got to be Liu Kang. And because I never knew, like I knew he was a martial artist, but I didn't realize that I guess he had...
they like all were. There's
like,
there's a documentary that shows how they did it.
I guess because they were in California, so they probably just put out a thing saying, hey, we need martial art actors, like come on in. And
so you can check that out.
I saw a YouTube video about that.
Yeah, or you can watch the video of Daniel Pacina punching me in the throat. Play that right there.
You take this, take a fist, go like this, and then punch him in the throat.
Yeah, so I mean, in this fight scene, like let's just go over some of the highlights. Like you got the hot coals, like he lands on real hot coals.
Oh yeah, which is insane.
He's wearing fire protective stuff. They show in the end with the blooper, like they show that, but still, like
those are burning coals. And he's not just falls on him, but he falls on him and then goes through like it's 10 feet long. That
his hands are
going
on him,
across. Like he is, that part was messed up too when they show his hands. He's just all burnt up, but then it goes away by the end of the fight. Like,
and like, he gets all alcohol. Of course. There's when he starts like drinking the industrial strength alcohol, which I guess is supposed to be like one step away from kerosene. Because they use it to like light up stuff. Well, he drinks that. He has to get the right balance, of course, first. So he's kind of like, now he's trying like not to get too drunk, but drunk enough to win the fight. I guess. So, but anyway, like when his face gets all red, like I've seen an interview where he explains he had to just go upside down for like a long time, and then just so all the blood would rush to his face. And this fight scene took 4 months to film.
I can see
that.
Jeez.
Every day for like 4 months.
Yeah.
You got like those big steel things that are falling.
The weights or whatever I don't know what they were, but like there's one at the end when they show the blooper reel and everything, and one lands on him, and you can tell that thing has to weigh like 50 pounds or something like that.
Even if it's not as heavy as it's supposed to be, it's still gonna hurt.
It's still like a metal drum that landed on him.
And this movie, a lot of martial arts movies have the thing where they put powder on people, so when you punch, you get that dust, so it looks like it hurts even more.
There's also like the strings on the chair, so like when they kick through the chair, and he's like holding it up, whatever, they pull the strings apart.
Well, that was one thing when they show the part where Ho Sung Pak uses the pole, and they actually like blowtorched the pole so it would light fire to the bench that he uses to block it, and you see him like going like whoa, it's actually like that's horrifying. That thing is every single thing that happens in this movie. I don't understand how Jackie Chan I don't understand how he went for such a long time. and he's still alive after all the shit
He's still doing a movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger that looks terrible.
Yeah, it's
Really?
The Iron Mask. It's called.
I'm pretty sure they're in one scene, and they're putting them in every trailer.
It's Man in the Iron Mask like remake, but it's from China, and it's Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
But I think they're only in one scene. I think the advertising is real misleading.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, he does more movies than you even think because a lot of them they only come out in China. So a lot of movies you're just not aware of. But if you ever just like look up his filmography, every year he's like putting out like a good amount of movies.
I mean, we also in America we didn't get all of them. Like we got like Rumble in the Bronx.
We got Mr. Nice Guy.
Yeah, we got like Super Cop, which that was a police story movie, and it was like the third one or something like that. You know, so it's like we were kind of getting them really late, and then also like Operation Condor, which was Armor of God.
So like they switched them.
They kept getting like halfway or like later movies.
Armor of God, and then Armor of God 2 was Operation Condor, but we got Operation Condor first, and then Armor of God became Operation Condor 2.
Yeah, which I don't understand how you can have a sequel be the movie.
They did that with a Chuck Norris movie. There's two Chuck Norris movies that are reversed.
Prep that must have went into something like this.
Yeah, I don't even know how you begin to choreograph this. Like, you need to know what the set's gonna look like, and oh my god.
And like so many things break, and they got to break again. You got to keep track of continuity. There's like a part where he uses like a keg, but how do you get the keg? Like, oh, how about the keg's over there? You get knocked into this wall, and then you pick up the keg, you throw it, and then that the keg has to land somewhere. You have to keep track of where it is, and then later on, that keg comes into play again when Jackie Chan stands on it, and then like
it's a real contrast between this and this first one because there's that last fight scene where Jackie Chan's fighting and everything, and then he lands, and the jug of alcohol is just sitting somewhere, and you can tell that it wasn't there a minute ago, and they're like, oh, he has to put this here, and then you're gonna fall near it. But it's like with this, every piece of the scene, every actor who has to know when to run in and when he's going to get hit or what he has to, because each person that's running in has to punch or kick or do something that Jackie Chan is then going to reverse, and you're going to have to fly back. And the people, the items, the building they're in. You think about how much stuff breaks in the Axe Gang fight. They destroy that building.
Oh yeah.
And if you had to do that more than once, do they have to just rebuild the whole
Axe Gang fight was hard to watch because it was so bloody because of the bamboo. Because bamboo is
was rough,
which is like in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, because like bamboo is like very brutal. That's why they use it in torture techniques. Where they slam it underneath people's fingernails, James.
Oh, that's terrible.
I don't like that. That's awful.
But like, there's a scene where like all the bamboo sticks come in like a Houdini trick, and he's in the middle of the table, and then doesn't he spins around with it or something?
It's like that's like kendo sticks. Like that's why they hurt so bad because they pinch and cut at the same time. Like, and he's just slicing dudes up with it.
Yeah, so I mean, we can just go on and on talking about all the highlights in this movie, but you really just got to see it for yourself. It's probably easy to see it as Legends of the Drunken Master, but I to my knowledge, there's no streaming options for it. So it's
I wasn't
really
able to
that
find
one. I watched it on Daily Motion. Someone put it up part 1 and 2. Not to support get the DVD or whatever. But I mean, even if you buy the DVD, you're probably buying from.
Well, they should put it out on streaming. I mean.
The Drunken Master 1 is on Amazon. I was able to watch it. It's on Stars. Like I have the Stars upgrade because, to be honest, what's funny is most of the movies we review are for some reason on Stars.
That's weird.
So I just paid for the upgrade because then I didn't have to keep renting them off Vudu or something like that.
I will say,
what's weird is like if you have Stars on your cable provider, then does that mean you have it?
Yeah, I think you sign.
I think you can do it on demand on like Xfinity or whatever you got, but I don't have cable. I just have get streaming services and internet. That's
a lot of people do.
Yeah. I do want to say like my favorite part of Legend of Drunken Master, the second one, wasn't even the fighting as great as it was. It's the stepmom and Jackie Chan constantly giving the dad shit.
I love the stepmom. She's my favorite in this whole movie.
I love that she's having like the mahjong gambling, and then the dad comes up, and then she like fakes it to look like she's like doing healing or whatnot.
I like when he says that to her when he's like, "How much did you lose in mahjong?" And she's like, I only win. Like, she's like so mad.
She's really funny in this movie.
Yeah.
She's hilarious.
And she's also the one who like encourages him with the drinking. Like when he's fighting, she goes and steals like all the wine and the liquor.
That's what we should point out. So the dad like gets really mad at him for returning to being a drunken master because he talks about he's like drunken masters are great fighters, but then they get addicted and they end up being like lonely alcoholics, like the guy in the first movie.
We didn't mention her float in water, but it can also sing. I think it was.
That's why he's got to find his balance with the alcohol. But the actress, what's her name?
Anita Hui, I believe.
Yeah, she was in Rumble in the Bronx.
Yeah,
also.
she ran the store in Rumble in the Bronx. Actually, the uncle who owns the store in Rumble in the Bronx is the police guy at the end of Drunken Master, and then she is the one who runs the store, like while he's gone, and he deals with her throughout the movie and everything. And she passed away actually in 2003. But she was really close. She's in a lot of Jackie Chan movies, and her and like Michelle Yeoh, who was also like she was in Super Cop and everything. They were very like tight knit group. Yeah. They all kind of palled around. She was also known as the Madonna of Asia.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, she was like a pop. She started off as a pop singer.
She was great. I love like her and Jackie Chan are giving the guy a bonsai root and saying it's ginseng.
Yeah.
And it comes back to screw. Like they're constantly trying to con people, and the dad's trying to be this respectable person, and then he goes to discipline her.
Well, she's
like, I'm pregnant.
First
and then
she brings
she's
the
faking
rutabaga.
pregnant, and the dad believes.
She brings the rutabaga first, and the guy's like, he thinks it's a ginseng plant, and then and he's like, you shouldn't have rutabaga. With
She's
ginseng,
like, oh, that's what I meant.
Gas. It's like
they go to blame it on the servant. She's like, blame it on Joe.
Yeah, they keep blaming things on him. Like I feel, and then like when they come back and say like, oh, this wasn't ginseng you gave him, and he's deathly ill, and then they blame this guy for it.
They almost killed him.
Yeah, it's like.
So that's up. So it's more than just fighting. The comedy is top notch in this one.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
And the thing about both these movies, I mean, just to sum them up, is that it sums up his career in a way, because this is like his first breakout performance in China, and then this was sort of when he reached his like peak, I want to say. I mean, he's still, of course, I wouldn't call it.
Well, that's before he got to America. That's probably where he.
It's kind of almost like he wanted to remaster the movie with. Later, like his stunt work and bring that into it also.
Yeah, like not to say it wasn't his career peak because he didn't even break out internationally yet. But what I mean is that this is when he perfected his style. Like this is when he knew what he was doing and he knew how to do it really well. And like it would be really hard to top that fight scene in that movie.
Yeah.
So it really is that these are two good like points in his career to kind of
Yeah, these movies got me jealous because I filmed fight scenes, you filmed fight scenes, and like. In my mind, I always want them to turn out like this, but then they end up turning out like Samurai Cop.
Well, you need to spend 4 months on them.
That's true. 4 months on filming, not conceptual. This had to have taken weeks to sit and write, and because I don't even know how I guess you storyboard it. I don't even know
a lot of storyboard.
You know what? I guess I'll end on, if you want to know more about that, like how he makes these fight sequences, is another extremely rare documentary that unfortunately, I don't know where you can see it. It was on DVD, but it was called My Stunts. Yeah. It was actually a companion piece to My Story. Which was like,
My Story.
Yeah, it's weird. I saw you have the action figures in here, but which is weird. That's what he wears in it.
Yeah.
But anyway, My Story, the DVD, was like an autobiography, but My Stunts, it just goes all into the nitty gritty of how he does all those stunts.
I think I might have seen that.
They used to show it all the time on like Cinemax and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's where I saw it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a good.
Because I used to watch Jackie Chan, Who Am I, like a bunch of times, and I think they might have played it around
they used to play it constantly on Cinemax, actually. On the More Max Action, it was called.
Also, I love this video game looking.
Weird,
This looks better than the actual Jackie Chan NES game.
Yeah. No, but it's a great document. They go into really into depth on all the stunts, and it's really cool to just see how, they really they wanted to make the fighting as realistic as they could, and how they do it is amazing.
Yep.
The same way any movie making, like traditional special effects. This is martial arts special effects traditional. Like it is not.
Yeah,
not
My
really.
Stunts. If you can find it, definitely watch it. Highly recommended. And watch both Drunken Masters. Watch a bunch of Jackie Chan movies while you're at it, because it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, definitely.
Next week, Bloodsport.